Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, all the housekeeping notes, all the product I used, and all the dimensions will be listed below. There is a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. There's a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. There's my email address if you have any questions. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and help me grow in YouTube world. Before I show you the project we're going to be making, over the next 3 days, this is a gift for somebody. Today we'll be making the gift. On Wednesday, we will be making the box for the gift. And on Friday, we will be making the card to go with the gift. And the suite we're going to be using is O Holy Night. It is a beautiful suite. I know a lot of stuff in this suite is not available at this moment. But I know many of you have this. So I'm going to go ahead and do the project because I don't want it to go later into the season. But I have a couple suggestions. I know the biggest thing people have been saying is out of stock is the trinkets, which are these. I have a solution for the trinkets if you don't have them. Marius trees. In the Marius tree set, there is these two, and there's a couple others, different shape, but these two here. And I cut them out of gold just to show you what they looked like. That is what they look like. And here are the trinkets. They're not exactly, you could layer them to make it look more like the trinkets, but that would also work if you want the trinkets and they're not available. Now, currently I checked just before I started filming, the trinkets are supposed to be available after the 11th of November. So this is one solution if you're wanting to proceed without it and you want the trinkets. Okay. The other parts of the set that are not currently available, the suite of course is not available because we're missing a couple elements. There's 2 stamp sets in this bundle. I'll flip this here. There is Night Divine. Night Divine is supposed to be back on November 6th, the bundle. And this is got great verses in it, and this has, well, all my dies are out because we're going to be using them, and you'll see those shortly. And then there is Stars at Night, which is going to be available. I think the Stars at Night's available. This whole suite is not available. I think this one still is. I didn't see it on the list. But we are also going to be using, throughout the next 3 days, we're going to be using the ribbon, which looks like this. It's beautiful ribbon. It's navy and gold. And there's 2 sets of paper in this set. I'm just going to go through these quickly. This is the O Holy Night paper. And it's just beautiful paper. And the colors in this paper, if you're interested, is black, boho blue, copper clay, crumb cake, misty moonlight, night of navy, pebble path, and berry vanilla. Now there is a second paper pack in this set, and it is called Shining Brightly. And this is a specialty paper. It is white on the back, and its colors are gold and night of navy and berry vanilla. Now, as you see there, there's one here. Oh, this is all I have left of this piece. But it's the same print in all the colors here. So I wanted you to see the set and the whole suite we're going to be using. We're going to use every part of this suite, you know, little things, but we're using all the items. So would everybody like to see what we're making? Let me get this book out of my way. Now, when you first see this, I do not want you to run and say, I can't do this. It is not easy, it's not complicated, and I'm going to break this down step by step. And I'm going to try to get this whole thing in the screen. Well, most of it. This, I'll pull it down this way. This is a wall hanging. Let's turn it this way so you can see it straight up. So we have the first. So if we go to the bottom here, we have the wise men and the camels and the shepherds all looking towards the star. Then we have baby Jesus being held by his mother, and they're in Bethlehem, and this is the star that led them. So this is what we're making today. It is not complicated. The back is all finished. So, and it's about, what is it? I didn't even measure the full length. That's 15, it's about 21 inches long, not including this, so 23 inches long. It's a beautiful wall hanging. So, I'm gonna fold this back up here, and we're gonna sort of ignore Smokey for a few minutes. So the first thing we need to do is build the base of the, for the things. So what you need is a piece of backing from your DSP. Not the brown with the hard thing. This is just this lighter weight one. This is actually Garden Lane designer paper from a while ago. And you need to cut this into 3 pieces. So you have an extra one that is 6 by 6. So you have 3 pieces, 6 by 6. Okay. We'll set those off to the side. And I need to reach up because I have my other paper sitting up here above me. You need 3 pieces of Night of Navy. That is 8 by 8. And as I go through the items, I will tell you what the measurements are, but everything will be listed below. I will even list how many sheep you need, camels, wise men, shepherds. So we're going to build the bases first. So what you need to do is these pieces are 8 by 8, and you will need a trimmer. Scoreboard won't work really on this because we are going to be trimming these at a very strange, I'm going to move a few things out of my way here, strange measurement. We have to score these at 15/16. So that is, if you're at the 1 inch, just go 1 mark back. Very, like I said, it's not much of a thing. And you're going to want to score this on all 4 sides on these pages. I should tell you should hit pause, go get a cup of coffee or your tea or whatever your favorite beverage is. This video will probably take a little longer than most of mine, but I think it's worth it. So we're still doing on all 4 sides 15/16 on all 3 pieces. I did do a lot of die cutting ahead of time of all the pieces, but I will go through each of them as we put them on. What I didn't die cut is the stars, because I want to show you how to conserve paper. No, we don't want to waste our gold paper and our glimmer paper. So I'm going to show you how to do that. One more. Oop. I think this will make a beautiful gift for somebody. Or for your own home. I know one of these is going in my living room. Okay, so 15/16 on all sides. Now we do have to make a cut on these, and we need to do it before we fold everything. What you're going to want to do is you're going to come right across. Do you see where the, hold this up so you can see it, right here where the 2 score lines join? What you want to do is cut straight across and just barely below that score line, almost right over the top of it, to be honest. And it doesn't matter if it's actually straight, it's fine. But you're going to do that on all 4 sides on all 3 pieces of paper. I'm cutting a little deeper in on one, it doesn't matter. Not difficult to do. Get a long pair of scissors and you can just start whacking away. Okay. I'm going to this in the trash right now. So what I'm going to do with each of these is I'm going to fold on each of those score lines. Okay, we'll do this as we go, one at a time. So I'm going to grab one of my white pieces. It doesn't matter if the print's up or down, it's going to be covered. Set it in there and make sure that it fits. You didn't cut something wrong, okay? If it fits there, you're going to grab your glue. You could use seal on this, but I'd really think glue or Seal Plus would be the better option on this part. Glue is the best option because it does help strengthen this, because it is going to be hanging. So glue that down, and then we're going to glue each of these pieces down, but you want to make sure that your glue is right along that edge where the little piece of board is. Just like that, and then fold that in and make sure it's pressed down good. And then we're going to do that on all the sides here, on all of these. I'll go around and press them as I get. And I'm trying to work as quick as I can, but you only go so far, so fast. That's why I said I hoped you grabbed your favorite cup of, or glass of whatever you like, depending on what time of day it is. We're just going to come in here and make sure all that's stuck down and it's nice and flush. So that's the first panel. Grab the next panel. Once again, they should all fit, but I like to try before I glue down. Smokey's being unhappy today, and she's outside the door crying, but we're going to let her cry it out because I tried to let her in earlier, and all she did was cry inside here too. So we're going to leave her outside. She will calm down in a minute, go find one of her toys to play with. She'll be getting bored. So, like I said, this part's pretty easy. The reason you want to get that right along that edge is you want it to sit in there really firmly across that bottom piece. I'll come back in here and give it a nice little back rub with my bone folder. It doesn't matter if they're, they lap or not, because we're going to actually have another piece of paper over this to cover up the back and to conceal our ribbon. Whoop, didn't hold it long enough. Get back here. Okay, so now we have our 3 panels. The next thing you need to do, you can use a ruler or a T. If you have a T, I'd use it. You need a pencil or a pen. Doesn't matter which one. I've got a pen here. And what you want to do, it doesn't matter which side, just pick a side and mark 3 inches. And then turn it around and come across here. And you want to make a line at 3 inches. Now don't go all the way to the top. Leave about, ½ inch, maybe a little less than a ½ inch. About like that. You're going to do that on all 3 pieces. This is where a T-square is nice, but if you only have a ruler, then make a couple marks so you get your measurements right. Like I said, it doesn't matter which side it's on. It's square, it doesn't matter. The reason we're doing this is going to tell us where we're going to put our tape and our ribbon. Because this particular project, you need to build the back first and put the ribbon on, and then put all the pieces on the front. It just works out a lot easier. So I'm going to grab tear and tape. And I'm going about, like I said, about a ½ inch from the top and bottom. Doesn't have to be precise. Just right down that line. Like I said, pencil or pen, it doesn't matter as long as you can see it. Okay, so that's the tear and tape. And then you need a piece of ribbon. Make sure I've got the right piece. I have 2 pieces cut already. Yeah. You need a piece of ribbon that is approximately 20.5 to 21 inches long. Okay? And this ribbon is actually double-sided. One side you can see where it has the gold. The other side you see the gold, but it's underneath. You want it so your gold is facing the right direction. So your gold is going to go down. So we'll start with the first one. I don't think she's going to give up here today. I'm going to let her in just one moment. Come on in. Yeah, you're going to be quiet, okay? Not sure she will, but we'll hope. Here's your blanket. Like I said, she is my talker. Yeah, she's laying on her blanket now. Hopefully she'll be content. Okay, back to where we were. Doesn't matter which one you grab at this point. Take off your tear and tape. You make sure the glitter side is down, and you're going to put the first ribbon right across that glue, right in the center. Quiet, baby. Just like that, okay? Then what I do is you want to use a grid sheet or something so you can measure. You want to come in with the next piece, and you want to go approximately 1.5 inches. I'm going to line these up with the grid. Grid does help. Keeps you getting everything straight. You want about 1.5 inches in between the 2 pieces. Pull off the tear and tape. Get that lined up a little better. Pull your tape so it's taut across here. And glue. Now we'll take this one this way. We'll line this one up. Put this one in. 1/2 inch in between the 2 of them. Or 1.5, I should say. And then we're going to take this piece straight up. This one's just a little too long. We don't want it to go past that 1/2 inch port there. And the one at the bottom was just a little too long too, so I'm going to snip that. So there's the pieces all hooked together, all 3 of them. Next thing we need is you need a piece of ribbon that is, what did I cut this one at? Sorry, 10 inches. And what you're going to want to do is just sort of, well, put the glue down first, tear and tape. decide which is it's going to be your top. I'm just going to make this my top. It doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to put a few pieces of tear and tape, probably 3. Because this is your hanger and you've got to make this as secure as possible. So take your, like this, I've got the gold pointed out. So this is the, we're gonna lay it down this way. Sort of judge where you want it to be, because this is your hanger. That looks pretty good. Stick it into the glue. And then I'm going to take some more tear and tape to go over the top of it. One right up here at the very tippy top, and I'm going further out. And I am going to pull that tape off. Just one moment. Come here. Come lay on my jacket. Come on. Get out of the blinds. Anybody have a way to teach cats how to get out of the blinds? I just gave her my hoodie, so she'll probably lay on that now. But we need now, since we've got all the ribbon on, and the next thing we need is 3 pieces that are 5.5 by 5.5. So when you're talking about paper, here's 1, 2, 3 sheets of paper, and this is 1.5. So, I mean, it does take a little bit of paper. But there's 3 at 5.5. Smoky. We're going to put this right like this. Now, this little white is not, it's on the back. So it doesn't really matter. Don't hook this down here until you got the glue. Put the glue on this piece. I put glue all over it, but what I'm going to do is the corners, I'm not pushing, I'm dragging glue into the corners to make sure that I've got those well covered. And just put that right over, it's about a 1/2 inch clear around each of them. And put that down. That's also going to help hold that hanger in there. You want to make sure you do get it pushed down really well. To the point I would actually across here use your bone folder. Okay, then we'll put the next one. Just drag some glue, not too much. You don't want it running all over the place, but you want it covered pretty good. Now, if you don't like the little white there, what I would do, and I didn't bring mine out, is grab one of your Stampin' Right markers, the Night of Navy, and just color that in if that bothers you. But like I said, it's facing the wall. This is more for security of the ribbon, and so it looks nicer. But if you want that white covered, you can do it. More in here. And the third piece. Just like that. Okay, and I'm once again gonna just make sure that I've got it all secured. So that is the back side, and this is the front side, okay? So the next thing we need to do is put on our DSP. I'm gonna get a little bit of junk out of my way here. So, I have cut 3 pieces of DSP. Now, let me show you which pieces I used. I think I can grab it. Hang on. You can use any of them you want, but I only used 2 pieces. It's this one and this one. Whoa! I have paper flying everywhere. Just one moment. Just slid off my other desk. Okay. Okay. So this one here, I cut this at 6 inches across. And then I'm not using this top half. So you just put that back in the thing. Cut that at 6 inches. And then I took off at 1/4 of an inch off the bottom here. And then cut at 5 3/4 for 2 panels out of that one. This one, so that's this panel here. This one, I don't know which part this is. This one? Yeah. Like that. It's like this. This might be the other side. I don't know. I think it is the other side. Same thing, cut it in half. I took the 1/4 inch off this side here, and then you could decide on the other one, you know, whichever 1/4 inch you want to take off. But that's the 2 pieces and how I got those. You need 2 sheets of DSP to get the pieces. So this one we cannot attach yet. We're going to do that one last, but we can attach this one here. This is going here, and this one is going here. I'm going to attach these two, and then we're going to cut. We have a couple pieces we have to cut, and we have to do some embossing on that first panel for the first top layer. Smokey, get out of the curtains. And it's about a 1/4 inch all around. So we have the panels like that. Okay, so we're going to just fold this up like this and set it off to the side for a minute. Because we need to cut our stars. Now, we're going to be cutting our stars and embossing them with this from Starry Night. So we will need plate 1 and plate 4 and our embossing folder. This is a hybrid embossing folder. It's this one here. And I only cut what I needed. I know I need these 2 in the gold and this one in the glimmer paper. I think that was the right one. Hang on here, make sure I've got the right way. Or is it 2 the other way? Yeah. Sorry, I got it mixed up. It's these 2 out of gold, this one out of glimmer. So I literally looked at this and figured out, just looked around it and cut out just that portion of what I needed, and then this one will be for the glimmer. That way I'm not wasting my gold paper. And this, sorry, wrong side. Take the side that has the Stampin logo on it. If you set this, it would literally just pop right into place, just like that. Now if you move it around, it's going to pop out. So let me get my machine up here. So we're ready to go. So here's my plate. Got my die in there. And we're going to cut these 2 first. So I'm literally going to cover them up with my gold paper. So make sure I don't see any of it. Close this, and then I can look on this side to make sure that I have everything lined up. And run it through. Like I said, I cut almost everything else out, but this I did not, because I wanted to show you how I was conserving paper. Here's one. Here's the other. That way and this stuff you could still use for other things. And then we'll pop this back in. And do this long one with glimmer paper. sure everybody's still in place. Now this glimmer paper has adhesive on it. And I want the adhesive to stay on mine. And I'll show you why in a second. So push it out to the back. So you get like that. Okay, so let me set this off to the side and this. And get rid of my plates and the machine. Okay, so we're going to build my star. I cut off a little corner on my star, but I'm not going to worry about that. Am I going to worry about that? I did. I cut off the corner. I don't like it. Sorry. I made a mistake, and we are going to have to fix it. So just one moment. I let it slide in there. Sorry about that, but I won't live with it, so this is how I did it. I just sort of laid it out where the paper was. Actually, can I lay this down here? Sort of roughly laid it out on my paper. You can see I've been whacking off pieces off of it. And just sort of come in underneath here and cut a piece out. That's how easy that is. Sorry, we're gonna get this out, but I'll find some other way to use this one that's got half of his star gone, but this is something that's gonna be displayed and I don't want it to be wrong. That's me. Right, I'll cover that all up and make sure I've got it good and covered. Flip this, make sure I have all the corners covered, and my die hasn't slid on me. One more time. That's one thing, if you did something and it didn't come out exactly the way you wanted it, you might as well stop and fix it because you're not going to be happy with it. And you want to be happy with it. Much better. Okay. Now we'll put this away and get it out of our way. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is take our 3 pieces of gold, if I can get them picked up. Move a few things out of my way. Desk tends to get a little crowded all of a sudden. So we have the glimmer, and we have the small one. So what we're going to do is I'm not taking the adhesive off this. You could, but you don't need to. I'm going to stick this here, and then this one's going to go across here, and they're all going to be raised by dimensionals. Just one moment. Bad girl, stay down. She wants to now leave since I just scolded her. So I'm letting her leave. Sorry about that. And these, we're going to use white mini dimensionals and large. Mostly mini. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a couple of large ones right in the center of this. And then I'm going to use some minis. Ooh, I think I need to grab a new sheet of minis. And not black. Okay. We will be using black dimensionals in a little bit. And I'll put one on this side. You're real limited what you can do on this because there's just really not many places to put adhesive. I'm going to go down as far as I can so I still remain covered up on this one. Don't want it sticking out. Then this one, I'll put a couple big ones. Just like that. And then a couple small ones. Or you cut big ones. And about like that should do it. So we're going to take this one here. Fill off our backings. So even though this is adhesive back, you don't have to pull the adhesive off of it. You can leave it there because it's going to be sandwiched in here. And what you want to do is line this up right on the star here, like this. And then this one. And the reason you build this scar is you want the star for placement so you know where you're going to be doing your heat embossing. And this goes over the top of this one. Yes, it covers up quite a bit of it. You can see underneath of it because of the dimension on this. So it's all popped up. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is pull in our other piece. Now this is the piece that is going for the top section. We have our star. Now the star I want to be very prominent. So it's basically lined up over my house. And I know my house is going to be on this, or my stable is going to be on this side. And I need an open area to stamp O Holy Night and emboss it. So if I do it this way, in that position, that gives me what I need. So you just have to move around and figure out what you like. And this is the way I'm going to go. So we've got that there. So let's grab a piece of scrap paper. Grab my embossing buddy here. Just put that right at the top there where we're going to be heat embossing. I've got my gold here. And what I didn't grab was a verse mark, but it's right here. Well, this is the only heat embossing on this, but I really wanted it to be gold to match the rest of the gold. I'm making sure this is well covered. And that looks pretty good. Hold that for just a second. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see it there, but you can actually see them. And we have our gold embossing powder. Let me give it one more dusting. Make sure I have a good coat. That looks good. And I'll get my heat gun here. I want to turn this on for just a couple seconds. I'm just going to grab something to hold this with. And then the beautiful magic starts. There we go. Now, you see how it looks there. Okay. Now we can put the first piece on. Now I'm not going to put the star on yet. We're going to let the star wait until the end. Just one moment. Make sure this is cooled and not hot. It's on DSP, so it cools pretty quickly. I think this bottle is just about out. Make sure you've held this down in place really good. I got quite a bit of glue right around where I heat embossed, so we make sure it sticks. Okay, I do have a little bit up here, but I will erase that after it dries completely. Okay, so now it's time to put all our pieces on. Get my embossing powder out of the way. So we're going to start, it doesn't really matter which panel, so we're going to have to start with the manger. We'll do the middle panel. This is just an extra piece in case I missed something when I was counting. These are all the pieces I cut. First off, we have 3 of the stables, and that's this one here. I'm just going to flip that out of my way for a second. I wanted 3. I wanted some dimension, but I didn't want to try to raise these up on dimensionals. So I decided to just do some layers. It's such a big piece that when you look through it, you'd see the dimensionals. Now you could use some foam, but that was a little higher than I wanted. And just line these up. It lines up really easy. Probably should have my silicone mat out here. There it is. Just push that down and add the next one. That's why you have the silicone mat. In case you go off. Just like that. And then we have this one. These are the only pieces you have to glue together. Okay. So I'm going to lay this out. The other pieces are strong. I'm going to lay this out. I know I want it to touch right at the edge here because I want it to be grounded. About like that. Now, we know we need Mary and Joseph the baby. We have 1 wise man, a sheep, and a shepherd. And they'll sit in here, something about like that. And then I put on here, I had to look at the one I made. Yeah. There is 1 camel. I put the camel here. And there is a donkey. Now, when you cut out the donkey, and you're going to discover many of these pieces I've done this, when you cut out the donkey, he's actually facing that direction, but I want mine to be facing the baby Jesus. So I'm going to turn him, and it's a silhouette, so it doesn't really make any difference. If you do have a rough edge or something rolled up, just take your bone folder and just squish it down a little bit, and it's perfectly fine. So that's what we have here. So first I'm going to attach the little staple here. Which doesn't resemble a cave at all, but it's close enough. I'm going to set that about like that and glue it down. Now, this one, I'm going to take and pop this up on dimensionals. This one we won't be turning. And I'm going to be using black. I'm going to be using a combination of large and big black. The reason I want black is because these are silhouettes and I don't want anything to show through. So there's a couple areas you could actually get a large one in. Oh, that one's not going to work. Oop. You know what? We're going to set him aside, and I'll show you why. Because I actually cut out 4 staples, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to use all minis on this, except for that one area. It's just easier, and small areas, and just sort of strategically place them. It's not like people are going to be playing with this. You're not running it through the post. It's going to be hanging on a wall. There. So these are going on dimensionals. Set those, and this fits right. It's not pushing down yet. I'm going to get this right towards the bottom and centered. Then I'll push down. Now the camel, I want the donkey about there, and the camel's going to be sitting right about here. Now this camel is glued down. Doesn't take much glue on these legs. I'm serious, it's just a tad. And he's sitting off to the side. To go with the first wise man here, and the sheep. The shepherd's over there. Thought they should have been turned around, but the donkey, I'm going to put him up on dimensionals. One little one on his head. Okay, so there's that one. So that's that part there. So let's move on to this piece here. This is where the rest of the camels are going to be. I have one camel about there, one camel something. I'm going to set all these down and get a rough idea where I have everything. Now, wise men. Here's our wise man over here, and I've got him on several, and I have the one I actually put the glue dot on. I can take him off. There. So what you're going to do, it's because our camels are still coming, and this one's seen, are still coming in. So you're going to snip here, and you're just going to snip straight up across the sheep like this. And they're walking through the desert, so they're probably not carrying a present. So I nicked off the present. Okay, and you're going to need to do that 3 times. Now you could only, just die cut that little section too. And nick that piece off. So there's 3 wise men. We are going to need a shepherd. Oh, that one's bent. We'll get the other one. So this is the 3rd wise man. There's 1, 2, what did I do with the 3rd one? 3. And then we do need a shepherd, so you can just cut him right straight down here just below where his staff is, like that. So the camels are going to get glued down. Now the wise men are, once again, we're turning these over. Ooh, That wise man's not going to work very well because I ripped him. We may cut a wise man. So the wise men are going to go here and here, and I'm going to cut a wise man real fast because I ripped him with the glue dot that I stuck on there accidentally. So I'm just going to take a little scrap of paper and run that through real fast. And I'm not even bringing this back on screen. I'm just going to do it over off screen. Because, like I said, I made a mistake and I won't be happy with it. I guess I do need to set it over here. No room on my table. Like I said, you don't have to cut the whole thing, you just cut a piece of it too. Grab my pokey tool here and poke him out. Like that. And we'll do a little trimming up on him. And get rid of his little present there. All right, so we have our three wise men. They're going to be facing that direction. They'll be popped up. We have our camels. We have our shepherd. And then we have 4 sheep. And the sheep are going to go turn over sheep. This may be a little different. I may have the third one down there. I'm not sure. Something like that. So that's where we're going to go with this. So I'm going to take off this wise man and get these camels down where I want them. Not pushing the glue. I'm using what's ever on the tip. But dry fit them and see where you want them. You can lay them out different than I did. It's whatever you want. About like that. About like that. And we'll grab some mini dimensionals. Remember, we are putting them so they're all facing this way because there's going to be a star they're following. So I'm going to put about 3 on each of these. It's one thing working with silhouettes, you can turn them and it really doesn't make any difference. But the animals were all facing the right direction, so it was easier to change the wise men than all the animals. Okay. He's going to be right about here. This is not the same layout exactly as what I did before. It's a little different. It's also because the ground is a different shape. You know, these hills and stuff. I'm going to bring him down a little further. I'll bring him about like that. Yeah, we're going to come in here. Now the shepherd is facing the right direction, so we can leave him the right way. And we'll place him right about here. Then we'll add a little glue. Not a lot. Now look, all my animals look like they're floating, don't they? We're going to fix that problem right now and give them a little shadowing and some grounding. Move that over there. A few of these dots out of my way. Okay, I grabbed, this is my light crumb cake blend. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come right under here, under their feet and a little bit under their robes. I'm just putting a little shadowing there. You don't really need shadowing on this one that much because, but we're going to do a little because it's darker paper. But here you needed something under these animals just to make sure. And if it's not dark enough, you can go back, let it sit for a second, and do a little bit more. The dark one, the crumb cake, was too dark for me. I tried gray granite on a piece. I didn't like it. I'm just making little swishes under their feet. So now can you see like the shadows? I'm going to put a little bit of shadow under him, not much. And just a little bit here. It's not going to be as noticeable because it's darker. I'm not going to do anything with that one. Okay, so we have these two panels done. Next, we need to put our star on. We are almost done. Now, you can put this star on with glue, or you can put it on more dimensions. I think it's got enough dimension. And I'm going to set this out straight here so I can see what I'm doing, because I want to try to line this up to the house as close, to the stable, straight above it as I can, as close as I can. And I'm going to use glue. It's got enough dimension on it. For just a second to make sure it doesn't slide on me. Okay, the next thing we need to do is put some trinkets on it. There they are. So we're going to start with the wise men and the shepherds out in the fields. And what size? I used a large one on that. So I'm going to put that. I'm actually going to put it right over that white one because it'll make it like it's shining out a little further. The other one didn't have a white one there, but this one does. Make sure that's good and stuck. So everybody is now looking at the star. Okay? Over the manger scene, I put a couple. I put a large one over this side. Then I put a couple small ones. Because there's other stars in the sky. I'll put one over here. There's 3 on there. And then over here on the big one, the main one, I added 2 small ones. One over here. And put one about there. So let me clean some of this stuff out of here. That, I know I can't show you everything in one fell swoop, but I'll hold each panel up. So here is the first panel. Here's the second panel. And there's the third panel. Now, I'm probably going to do this to mine. If you have some shimmer spray, you might want to run a little bit of shimmer spray over the top of this and make it shiny. I may do that. I don't know yet. I do have shimmer spray. We don't sell it anymore. I know many of you do have that, and that would be an option as well if you wanted some gleam on there. So, and this, when you fold it up, the best way to fold this up, just so you know, is to fold the star down and fold this one over so all the inside pieces are covered. Now, on Wednesday, I will be back. I've designed a special box for this gift. And like I said, on Friday, and there's a tag with that, special tag too. And then on Friday, we will make a card that matches this to give to your special recipient. So thank you for joining me. I know this is probably the longest video I've ever done, but I think it's worth it, especially when it's a beautiful home decor piece. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you on Wednesday. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share, and help me grow in YouTube world. And like I said, if you need any of these products, a lot will be available in November. If you have any questions, just send me an email and I'll get back to you. Thank you for joining me, and have a nice day.